It was great. Did you hear? He would like try. He'd do something, you know, and then he'd do it again, and then we kind of get. Did you hear that? Did you hear us getting sucked into it? Did you hear he'd play something and we ought to do this? I felt on piano that I had to jump there. Did everybody hear that? Yes. Yeah. No. I hope you heard it. That's the thing that we, you know, that's one of the processes of jazz that does help, is that if he plays, because most people who go hear jazz, you know, they go, hey, do you like jazz? And they go, I have no idea. You know, that's kind of the routine on it. And the way sometimes you do a solo for people to get the idea of something going on is to play something a few times. Like he went, you know, and so I'm playing the piano, I go, okay, I heard that. Then he does it again. He goes, okay, then I'm in on that. And if he plays it one more time, then I can play kind of along with him. And then what he was doing, which was really cool, not everybody gets this, but he was playing a lot of chords. You know, those who have been in my class, like the commercial musicianship class, we talk about triads. You know, like CEG, a real simple triad like that. Well, you'd add a seventh. Well, he was playing solos where most of the chord changes were where the notes were like added on. The upper end, he was playing like all these notes up here. And so, as a piano player, I feel I have to go grab those notes and hang in there with him. So he's got a great harmonic sense to him. He knows all these chords, you know, off the top of his head. So, I mean, that's what we try and do, is make this conversation. What should we do? Should we do like a bebop tune? What's a good bebop tune? Anybody know one off the top of their head? Oleo? Let's do Oleo. There's a shout chorus in there, but let's not. Your turn? Second? I don't know. Let's see here.
Second book, 145.
Second book, 145. So go towards the back. There were kind of back in the, you know, like the early 1900s, late 1800s, they had ragtime, which is mostly piano music, kind of stiff, kind of straight up and down, didn't really swing a lot. And then we got into Dixieland, and Dixieland was wearing your heart on your sleeve. Now that kind of stuff, which would be the solo. You can quote me on that. And then it got into the swing era, which we'll play a swing tune too, but right after the swing era, which was kind of like Benny Goodman and Artie Shaw and all those characters, everybody got sick of this, having to bring a band to a dance stage and playing in the mood, and they would play for the dancers, and that's the way the music was. So the musicians were playing for the dancers. Well, musicians, they hate that, unless it pays a lot of money. And so what they started playing for themselves, and we got into this era kind of after the swing era, which is an era called bebop. And bebop was more about the musicians playing, showing off their dexterity, showing off that they can play a lot of notes, playing really fast, playing real articulated, learning all these chord changes that I'm talking about, and, you know, really representing and just having more fun with themselves, and nobody could dance to it, which is too crazy. So a lot of people didn't like bebop, but it's a great music, and it's fun. Charlie Parker, who else was there? Charlie. Dizzy Gillespie was, you know, those are they're real icons of, you know, the name stoppers of that era. They wrote all these great tunes, which are standards today. But they're not standards that you can go, you know, be singing on your way home, or go, you know, or lyrics or whatever. They're really not meant for that. This is a tune I think Charlie Parker wrote, I'm not sure, because there swaps off with Dizzy and him. It's a tune called Oleo, and which at that time I think was Butter, wasn't it, if I remember? And so anyway, it's based on a tune called I've Got Rhythm. I've got rhythm, I've got music, you know, that old tune out of the, you know, the musical era. Stop me from singing, my God. But the chord changes are really cool because it's, you know, it's what they call a 1-6, 2-5, and then and so there's a lot of chances for you to really nail some chord changes, and that's what this music was all about. This is bebop. Charlie Parker died very early in life. He was sent here from another planet to raise the bar, and Dizzy was along with him, but Dizzy lived a lot longer. But Charlie was just an amazing player, and no matter how many times you hear him, even though that's the kind of namesake of Charlie Parker, if you actually go back and listen to him and watch him, you go, and for those of us who are players and we watch him, you go, man, that guy, I mean, if I'd have been on the band with that, we'd all been just like doing this every night, because he was that great of a player, just an amazing player. So the music is supposed to be a little up-tempo, fast and furious, and we're going to do that thing where we're going to do fours with the drums, and then we're going to play the head, which is the top part, and then after we get done playing the fours with the drums, then we're going to go back and play the head again, and hopefully we'll all end at the same time. We shall see. Is there a shout out there?
Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, sure.
But let's do fours first.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we're talking about this thing called a shout chorus, and a shout chorus is it's not the melody, but it's it's a shout chorus. Hey, it's louder than the rest of it, so it kind of catches you by, so you hear the trumpet go go or something like that. And so we have a little shout chorus built into this tune here. Oh, somebody's got a light. Wow. Somebody's a professional. Oh.
You want to put your stand over there, you can put it right next to it. Put your stand over there. Put your stand
Yeah, I'm all looking, I see my eyes are changing. Oh wow, I can see.
It's a miracle. It's a darn miracle.
You're a jazz musician, you can't read.
That's the greatest compliment you've ever given.
That's funny. Let's not do it too fast, because I'm going to run out of fingers anyway.
Did I?
Actually open it up.
Here we go. So this is the head. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.